You think you've worked dirty jobs? Try hunting down Nazis in South America. That's exactly what the Mossad had to do. Their target? Adolf Eichmann, one of the key architects of the Holocaust. This guy was directly responsible for the deportation and extermination of millions of Jews during World War II. Eichmann was a high-ranking SS officer. He was a logistics guy. But instead of moving supplies, he moved human beings. He was a cold, calculating bureaucrat. He made sure the Nazi death machine ran on time. After the war, Eichmann knew he was in deep trouble. The Allies wanted him bad, so, like many Nazis, he went into hiding. He slipped through the cracks and disappeared. He became a ghost. But some ghosts are destined to be found, and the Mossad, Israel's intelligence agency, was determined to find this one. They were not going to let this guy escape justice. They were coming for him. Eichmann's escape was like something out of a spy movie. He ditched the Nazi uniform and adopted the alias Ricardo Klement. He blended in with other Germans who had fled to Argentina. They were looking for a fresh start, a chance to escape their past. Eichmann settled in Buenos Aires. He lived a simple life with his wife and kids. He worked in a factory, pretending to be just another immigrant trying to make ends meet. Can you imagine the nerve of this guy? He thought he was safe in Argentina. The government there was sympathetic to Nazis. They turned a blind eye to war criminals seeking refuge. But Eichmann underestimated one thing: the long arm of justice. And the Mossad. They never forgot about Eichmann. They were like bloodhounds on a scent. They followed every lead, every whisper, every rumor. They were determined to find him no matter how long it took. Finding Eichmann was no easy task. It took years of painstaking work. The Mossad relied on a network of informants. These were people who risked their lives to bring Nazis to justice. They were motivated by a thirst for justice. One crucial tip came from a German prosecutor named Fritz Bauer. He had received a letter from a man in Argentina. The man claimed his daughter was dating a young man who boasted about his father being a Nazi war criminal. The name? Ricardo Klement. The Mossad sent a team to Buenos Aires. They had to be careful. Eichmann might have had protectors, or he might have been armed. These guys were taking their lives in their hands, but they knew the risks. They were on a mission. They staked out Eichmann's house. They watched his every move. They needed to be absolutely sure it was him. They couldn't afford to make a mistake. The world was watching. Section 4. The Hunters Close In. The Mossad agents watched Eichmann for days. They took pictures, listened to his conversations, and analyzed his every move. They were like ghosts, always present but never seen. Their training kicked in. They were pros. Finally, they were certain. Ricardo Klement was Adolf Eichmann. The monster had a face again. And now the Mossad had to figure out how to get him out of Argentina and back to Israel to face justice. This was not going to be easy. Argentina was a sovereign nation. They couldn't just waltz in and grab him. They needed a plan, and it had to be flawless. They decided to snatch Eichmann off the street. They'd drug him, smuggle him onto an El Al flight, and fly him to Israel before anyone knew what hit them. It was a risky plan, but it was their best shot. Section 5. Operation Eichmann, a daring capture. On May 11, 1960, the Mossad put their plan into action. As Eichmann got off a bus near his home, a team of agents grabbed him. They wrestled him into a waiting car, a struggle that could have blown their cover. Eichmann, caught completely off guard, was quickly subdued. They smuggled him to a safe house where they kept him under constant guard. The clock was ticking. 9 days later, disguised as an El Al crew member, Eichmann was bundled onto a plane bound for Israel. The tension on that flight must have been unbelievable. When the plane landed in Israel, the news broke. Adolf Eichmann, the architect of the Holocaust, had been captured. The world was in shock. Section 6. Justice Served. Eichmann's trial was a landmark event. It was the first time the horrors of the Holocaust were broadcast to the world. Survivors of the camps took the stand and told their stories. Their testimonies were heartbreaking. Eichmann, meanwhile, showed no remorse. He claimed he was just following orders, a defense that fell on deaf ears. The evidence against him was overwhelming. On December 15, 1961, Eichmann was found guilty of crimes against humanity. He was sentenced to death. On May 31, 1962, he was hanged at a prison near Tel Aviv. Eichmann's capture and trial sent a powerful message. You can run, but you can't hide from justice. The Mossad's daring operation served as a reminder that the pursuit of justice knows no bounds. It was a victory for the victims of the Holocaust and a warning to would-be perpetrators of genocide.